Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Dave Singer. Dave is Verint's Global Vice President, Go-to-Market Strategy. Singer is responsible for driving the GTM strategy for Verint's workforce engagement solutions and the Verint industry-leading Open CCaaS Platform. The strategy is based on developing innovative messaging and offerings, both partner and direct, that drive customer-centric differentiation and align value with both customer needs and expectations. Singer joined Verint in 2002 and has held a variety of roles in Verint, including Director of Solution Consultants, RVP of Solution Principles, and most recently RVP Presales, focusing on solution consulting and innovation. Prior to Verint, Dave was a principal at eLoyalty and a software architect at IBM. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's jump into this conversation with Dave. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, thanks, Nick. Great to be here.
All right. Now, I know we read a little bit about your background in the bio that I just read, but we always like to give our guests an opportunity to share in their own words a little bit about your journey, how it is that you got from where you were to where you are today.
Sure. So I'll go beginning to now, the opposite order of the the quick CV you read. So as you said, I started life as a software engineer, and after a little while, I realized I could have more impact on more customers and more people when if I moved from just building one piece of code to consulting with organizations about how to use technology to improve their customer service and improve their operations. Did that for a while, then I moved over to Verint, and I really felt that Verint had a great set of applications and tools to do exactly that. And so moved through Verint, again, continue to help customers deliver better experiences for their our customers, deliver better experiences for their customers and their employees. And with my move to go-to-market strategy a few years ago, it was really a great opportunity for me to be able to again step back from looking at individual brands or individual opportunities and look at more holistically. How can Verint help all brands? How can Verint help all of our customers? Really help deliver better customer service, better agent and employee experiences, and really without sounding too corny about it, I guess, really help people.
All right. Now, could you also tell our listeners what is Verint and what does Verint do?
Sure. So Verint is the customer engagement company, and what we're focused on helping brands elevate customer experience while also reducing cost and improving efficiency. So the core problem in the market we set out to solve is something we call the engagement capacity gap. So if you think about it, customers and consumers, their expectations are going up and up and up and up, all the time, right? As there are more channels, more modalities, more ways that consumers can interact with brands, their expectations, the number of contacts go up, and their expectations go up. One of the things I think is really interesting is that people are now expecting, online speed of service in the real world. So the example I use a lot is, people have, I think everyone's had the experience. If you go to a store, you see something you like, but maybe it's the color you want's out of stock or the price is too high. So you can scan it on your phone and have it delivered from an online retailer before you get home, right? So that kind of intersection of the real world and the digital world drives incredible expectation increase. And the problem brands have is that they have relatively flat budgets and resources to meet these expectations. That's incredibly hard. So what Verint does is delivers we call CX automation capabilities or customer experience automation, ways we can help the employees of brands meet these expectations without having to do exponential increases in hiring. So, a lot of words there, but really what we do is we help our customers engage better with their consumers to meet their expectations in the most efficient and productive and deliver great experiences across the board.
All right, awesome. Now, based on your experience, Dave, in the customer engagement space and the different customers that you work with, what would you say are maybe 2 or 3 overarching themes or pain points that your customers predominantly have challenges with as it relates to closing that engagement gap?
Sure. So I think I look at it from, one pain point in each of 2 dimensions. One is from the customer perspective. It's interesting, the common belief used to be, channel switching is bad. You should deal with customers and solve the problem with the channel they first reach out on. But that's changing, right? Customers and consumers want to change channels at their own direction, right? So you may start with an email, then flip to chat, then call in, then follow up with an email. That's fine, right? That's how consumers want to interact, especially since all of those channels now land on your smartphone, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like you're moving to a different device per channel, and that creates a real challenge for brands to be able to manage all these channels in a completely seamless way, so that customers aren't repeating themselves every time they connect. And then on the flip side, the challenge for employees is theme I probably come up a few times here is great employee experiences are necessary for great customer experiences. Right? If your employees are disengaged and stressed out and don't have the tools they need, then their poor experience is going to translate to poor customer experiences. So I think brands really struggle with how do you manage the customer need for seamless interaction and continuity of interaction across channels, while also providing the engagement, the tools, and the experiences for their employees that allow them to deliver great experiences to the customers when they interact.
All right. Now, Dave, we are basically closing out 2023 and we're embarking on a new calendar year. Lots of things happening, across different industries throughout the globe. What do you think are maybe 2 things, if your clients came to you and said, Dave, as the subject matter expert in this area, where do you think we need to be putting our focus for 2024 to kind of set ourselves apart from the competition and really be able to supersede our customers' expectations? What would those 2 things be, based on your experience as well as maybe what the data is actually telling you?
Yeah. So I think that there's a couple of things. They're both related. I would classify 2023 as the year of experimenting with AI, right? Gen AI and Chat GPT and OpenAI, all that's really, hit the world in a big way, November-ish of 22. And through this year, a lot of brands are experimenting with, how do we use this to, deliver better content, deliver better answers, support our customers better. But it's very much been a year of experimentation. I think 2024 is the year where that has to get operationalized, right? I think brands need to look at, okay, we've experimented with this for a year, we've done some trials. Next year is the year to make that drive value for us. Is one thing. And the second thing, I think this is really important, and this is core to the ethos of Verint, is think about employee and human augmentation, not replacement. Mm-hmm. So that for a long time there's been this belief or this talk track that, hey, well, if we get the right chat bots and the right RPA and the right tech in place, we won't need people anymore. We can automate that away. And I don't believe, and the data shows us that's not the case. There are things that humans are better at than machines. At a certain level of complexity and value and emotional importance, humans want to speak to humans. So I think the focus of AI and automation and where Verint focuses our delivery of CX automation is really around human augmentation, because that gives the employees the power and the great experience that lets them help customers in a better way. So again, I'm sorry, I've had a lot of coffee today, so you get a lot of words to your answers here. But I
That's
net it out
okay.
to
That's okay.
24 is going to be the year of getting value from AI versus experimenting, and pivoting from human replacement to human augmentation with CX automation.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Dave. Now, Dave, could you also share with our audience what's the one online resource, tool, website, or app that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
Oh. So many. I guess for us, really, I'd say broadly, it's access to knowledge, and that comes in a few different ways, right? So it's the ability to research on the internet in general to get access to broad information.
Mm-hmm.
And I think right now, looking at some of the the Gen AI and the RAG tools that let us turn that information into knowledge to get answers faster. So really, for me, it's all about getting to answers. So any of the online tools that allow for knowledge retrieval quickly, and again, it was knowledge management solutions, wiki solutions, things like that. But to me, it's all about access to knowledge and answers quickly.
All right. Can you also share with us maybe one or two books that you've read that has had a great impact on you? It could be a book that you read recently, or even one that you read a very long time ago, but it has had a great impact on you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Outside In is a great book. It's a classic that always reminds us to focus on look at things from the customer perspective and design our solutions and our tools and our processes from the point of view of the customer, not the point of view of what we as a company or we as a brand want to do. I think that's one that's being pivotal in how I think about things. Another one that I think is great just from a business strategy book is what got you here won't get you there, right? So again, it reminds us that things change, that things change increasingly quickly. So we always have to be evaluating our strategies and our approaches and our solutions to adapt to where we are right now and where we want to get to. And just because a pattern worked for us last year doesn't mean it's going to work this year. It doesn't mean we throw it away. But you just can't have that assumption that doing the same thing over and over again is going to keep having the same results going forward. So I would just look at those two again that are ones I've read both a while ago, but I come back to all the time. So I think the focus on the customer perspective first, and always evaluate are your strategies effective right now, not were they effective last year, is really important.
All right, great. Can you also share with our listeners what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something you're working on to develop yourself or your people.
So first I'm going to share something completely unbusiness related, personal, that I'm excited about. Then I'll bring it back. So my daughter just started college this year, and I am really aside from being proud of her, I'm really excited to watch that process of her learning and growing and moving from a kid in high school to a young woman in college and getting ready to meet the world. So I think it's first, aside from the fact that I'm just so proud of her, it's just really exciting to watch and remember what that development looks like and feels like, and how to take that how to take that forward. The other thing, I'm if anyone has seen me on video sometimes in my office, I have martial arts weapons all over my office. I've been training that for a while. I'm currently training for my next rank, which is exciting for me personally. But one of the core concepts in martial arts is something called beginner's mind, right? Which says no matter how advanced or experienced or you get, you can never forget that you're always a beginner at something. right? There's always more to learn about the basics. And every time I look at, training for a level or a promotion, it reminds me when I come back to work that, hey, I always have more to learn, right? There's always something to pick up from even things I've done 1,000 times. So I think that's a really important mindset going forward. And it's something I reinforce with my teams all the time is, just because you think you know doesn't mean you know. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you couldn't be better. Just because someone does something differently than the way you do it doesn't mean it's worse. It just means it's different and there's something to learn from that. So I think bringing that, that concept of beginner's mind back and keeping that, it keeps you humble and keeps you open to getting better every day.
Yeah, those are really good points. Awesome. All right. Thank you for sharing, Dave. Now, can you also tell our listeners they would have tapped into this episode and they're quite intrigued with your organization as well as you as an individual, and they'd like to connect with you online. Where can they find you online?
Sure. So for Verint, Verint is everywhere. So Verint.com is a great place to start. All headlines there. We have some great videos and engaging assets on the main page as well as our blog. Also, Verint has great presence on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, and so it's tagged as Verint or at Verint, or pick your handle based on your platform. A great way to connect with Verint cross-platform. I'm for myself personally, LinkedIn is the best place to find me. So
and when we look you up on LinkedIn, do we type in David or Dave?
David Singer on LinkedIn, I pop right up, a link to Verint. So easy to find me.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Dave. Now, before we wrap our episodes up, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? If for any reason you get derailed or you get off track, the quote kind of helps to get you back on track. Do you have one of those?
I'm trying to think. I guess it's not so much a quote, but I just believe there's always a path forward, right? And just because you don't see the path in front of you right this second doesn't mean it's not there. So for me, when things get tough, I just remember that, just because I don't see the path right now doesn't mean if I don't take 2 steps forward, I'm going to break through the trees and it's going to be right there. So holding on to that fact is how I get through adversity or when times, maybe aren't turning the way I think they are.
All right. So there's always a path forward. All right. Thank you so much for sharing, Dave. All right. Well, Dave, just wanted to say thank you very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule and hopping on our podcast and sharing a little bit about your journey, as well as what you do at Verint and, the great value that Verint is bringing as it relates to customer engagement and closing that gap for the many different organizations and customers that you work with. And also some of the things that organizations should try to focus on for 2024 as we really try to utilize all of the different knowledge sources and technology opportunities that have been presented to us in a way that really helps to exceed the customer's expectations and even give them what they need or want before they even know that they need it or want it. So really enjoyed the conversation, and I just want to express our deepest gratitude to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Just want to remind our listeners that you can follow us on X at Navigating CX, and feel free to join our private Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We also have a new book available on Amazon, The ABCs of a Fantastic Customer Experience. It's available in ebook and paperback. So if you want to increase revenue in your organization, build a stronger service culture, and create employees or develop employees who are really mastering service delivery in your business, you need to grab a copy of this book. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.